Man. Hey, this is Johnny Beane live, 5:04 p.m., September 27th, 2017. Hey, look who's here. We got Rob Johnson.
Good evening, everybody.
Ta-da!
Jared Frost.
Hey, they went to Jared.
Look at that. And some other guy. What's up, you guys?
Hi.
What's happening?
We're live. And real quick, Liquid Charlie, man. Good to see you, man. Have a great rest of your time in Greece.
Yeah, man.
Awesome
Pictures. Awesome vacation.
Very cool.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
What's up, Bruce?
Is that Bruce? Mr. BHB. I think it's Bruce.
It is.
I think
708 is here. Hey, let's say hello to everyone. Mark Taylor is here. Let's say hello to everyone from the beginning. Vinny Romano is here. Desiree
Vinny.
Dornan is right here next to me. Tone Bolts is here. Michael Bishop is here.
Michael. 7/8.
BHB Jr. Is that Bruce? Liquid Charlie is here.
Hey, man. Oh,
Really?
my voice.
What are
You're
you
gonna-
going through? Are you going through the
Hey, easy, Bean, you know.
BB Ninja's here.
I can't take credit for that, though. That was somebody else's joke.
7/8 is here. Frank C is here. Sinner O is here.
Easy, Bean.
Jimmy
Hey, come on. I don't want to hear that again.
Jimmy Cobb. All right.
You got to play it again.
We got a lot of people here. All right. 16 people here. Not everyone has said hello. Frank McNall is here.
Yo, Frank.
Everyone who is saying hello will say hello. And I'm your Huckleberry is here. What's happening? All the way from Tennessee.
Hey. Did you guys meet up when you were down in Tennessee?
No, it was the Wave to Dave tour. Everyone waved to me. I didn't stop.
Oh.
Tubin here.
Hey, man. Did anybody actually wave to you? Do you recall anybody actually?
I went like this. Hi, Dave. Hi.
You waved to yourself?
Yeah,
That's so weird.
it is. You know, I love myself.
Hey, Mark
Something
Taylor.
better.
Yeah. Yes. So what's new? What's new with you guys? Well, what's the big news? Dave is home.
And so is
Dave's
Desiree.
home.
Desiree's home here too.
Oh.
And so is Snickers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey.
Where's my girl Brandy?
She's right here.
She's sitting in her chair, is she?
She is with her leg up.
Yeah. Leg up.
She's like this.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. So what's up, Jared? How you been?
I'm good, man. I've been so busy at work these last couple of weeks. The Hurricane Harvey, we didn't get any of it here in Dallas. You know, a 100-mile difference was just crazy. But everybody is coming up here with their cars, and I'm in the paint and body business for Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah.
So I'm just, and Dave knows I live a mile from work in my apartment. Life is simple, but I pretty much live at work, but I sleep in my apartment.
Yeah.
I gotta say, and I'm gonna interrupt you, is that Jared has the most bitchin' apartment and the most bitchin' dog I've ever seen in my life.
Chewy is awesome.
Coolest dog and the coolest apartment. It's definitely a man cave apartment.
Yeah.
But it is serious. The fact that he doesn't have a babe in there every night, a different one, is just boggles my mind because it's like a babe magnet apartment.
You know what? Outside of my red leather couch, which is super sexy, by the way, most women come into my apartment and they're like, somebody's single, been single for a long time. It's definitely a man's apartment.
That's what I go through too. My apartment's exactly the same.
Like, okay, that's cool, but you know what? This is my place of zen and peace. So yes, it is a man cave.
It's cool.
Yes.
That's the last word.
That's it. Uh-huh. So were you there, Dave? You were actually there?
Yeah, we were all there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Dave got to play on my rig, even though my pedal switcher was acting up on me, but it's all fixed now. But when it was working, it sounded as good as it always does.
Yeah, it really sounded good. It sounded very much like this.
Heck yeah.
It was great. Really cool. Bigger, though, because he has 412s.
Yeah. 412s, the 212 in the center with the lunchbox head running completely dry, and left and right channel with all the effects. Dave brought his Frankie. I got to play that, and he brought that Kramer, that black Kramer. I got to break that in for a little bit. Great playing guitar. It's awesome.
Cool. This guitar. This is the
that one.
Yeah.
There it is.
I don't know what to call it yet. I haven't decided on a name for this. I think I'm going to call it the Shadow. I think I'm going to call this Shadow.
Dave, what's the story on that guitar? I mean, we know, but can you tell us how long you've been without it and what happened and how you got it back?
Sure. I worked at Guitar Center for many, 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 many years. And there was a guy that was working there that worked for me, and his mind escapes me right now. I can't remember. Anyway, it was his guitar, and I had transferred from one store to another, and he was in the second store, and we became friends quickly at the time. And he quit really fast, and that's why I can't remember his name. But anyway, he had this guitar, and it needed some work, but I was like, I love that guitar. And he said, well, you have a regular Strat. I'll trade you this guitar if you have just a 3 single coil Strat, or if you want to buy me one. So at the time I was like, what do you mean, like any Strat? He's like, yeah, I just want a 3 single coil Strat style guitar to record with. I don't need this. So, we worked for Guitar Center. So I bought him an American Standard Strat for like $350. And he loved it. And I took this guitar. So it cost me $350, basically. But it needed a fret job, and it didn't have these dots in it. And at the time, I was blind. I couldn't really see well. So I brought it to my friend, and I said, can you put dots in this thing and refret it? And that was 10 years ago.
Wow.
And, it just sat in his shop forever in pieces. And while, and it was like a kind of like a little bit of a sore spot with me, but not really, because every time I needed work done, no matter who he was working with, he'd put everyone else's stuff aside and do my guitars or whatever I needed done right away, and hardly charged me.
Except that
charged me at all. What's that?
Except that one?
Well, no, he didn't even charge me for this. I mean, I ended up not paying for the repair on this 10 years later.
Hmm. He should have paid you.
Yes. So basically, on Labor Day this couple weeks ago, I texted him and I said, it's been 10 years. This is the 10th anniversary because it was on a Labor Day. How about just giving me the guitar back in parts? I have a neck for it. I was going to put that beak neck that I have, the other beak neck, on this guitar. Yeah. And then, fret the guitar myself and use it as a guinea pig just to, work on stuff, and do it myself. So he says, well, the frets are already in. I just have to, I'm waiting for the dots to dry. And I said, oh, okay, great. Because he glued the dots in. Finally, after 10 years. And
he was putting them in while you were on the phone.
Literally, waiting for the dots to dry.
3 days later, I got the guitar. And the only thing that I'm a little upset about, but I'm not really upset, is the back plate is not the original back plate. It should be a black Kramer plate with a serial number on it. It's in his shop somewhere. He lost it. He has to find it. But he didn't want the guitar to be sitting there, so he just put it together for now with the chrome plate on it. Yeah. He's like, I hope you're not mad. I said, well, as long as you find the plate, I won't be mad. But I'm happy to have the guitar, and it's just perfect. And even if he finds the back plate, I'm kind of afraid to take the guitar apart because it's so perfect as is right now. It plays perfectly. It stays in tune amazingly. I don't want to change a darn thing about it. So if he finds the plate, I'll hold on to the plate, and maybe one day I'll put it on, but it's going to stay as is. It's perfect. And that's the story of the Shadow.
You can just scratch Kramer into it.
It's already scratched in.
You know?
Right there.
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a great playing guitars. What I love about Dave's guitars is you can pick any of them up and they're perfect. You don't have to do anything to them. There's some people, or even going to some music stores or whatever, you'll pick up some guitars and they're so out of whack, they're almost unplayable. I love being able to pick up a guitar and play it, and it plays just as great as anything that I have.
Well, thank you. And I think all of you guys can attest to that because you've all played one of my guitars, or Rob, you've played every one of my guitars. Jared, you've played two of my guitars, and Johnny, you own one of my guitars. So, I mean, you all know how my guitars feel.
Yeah, and it's a lot of it I would attribute to, I agree with Jared. I mean, you can literally go over to Dave's house. You can pick any guitar up off the wall or off the rack, and they're all, most of them, 99% of them are in tune. And if there's any adjustment needs to be made, it's literally just a little minuscule adjustment on the fine tuner because it's already in tune and it's all set up. And it is refreshing to see that. And all 27 of my guitars, I try to keep the same. With the shifts in temperature, and we've had wicked hot weather the last few days out here, like real muggy and almost miserable. It's raised a little bit of hell with a couple of my guitars, but for the most part, I try to do the same thing. But you got to stay on top of them, though, too. I mean, when you have that many guitars, it's hard to. You have to kind of have a daily, maybe not daily, but at least once a week, you got to kind of go through them and check them, you know. And that's one of the things I've actually learned from Dave.
Yeah.
Being able to, you know.
Yeah.
Although I tell you, I really wished I wish you could look at one of my guitars, Dave, my root guitar. I'll tell you, I don't know what it is. There's something about that guitar. I cannot get the high E to stop buzzing. It just frets out on open string, and I don't know what it is.
It is one or three things. Is the nut might be too low at the high E, or it's a high fret. The first or second fret might be a high fret, or it might be actually it might have a warp right there.
Yeah.
So,
it was fine.
hopefully it's not a warp. Everything else can really be fixed.
Yeah, me too. Because I love that neck. It's only been like that the last couple of months. I don't know what it is. Strange.
Paul Glover, yes, you can send me your guitars for setup. If you're really interested. I do charge for that, but absolutely, I'd be happy to work on your guitars.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good deal.
I got a new addition to my collection here. Dave has seen it. It's a Wolfgang Standard again. I got a Guitar Center for like $350.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I bought a red D-Tuna, put on it, and a brass block, and I got the plate on it. But yeah,
ferrules. Oh.
Yeah, it's man, best $350 guitar I've ever had.
I drool over those things.
Did that thing have the red D-Tuna on it when I was there?
Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't remember.
Yeah, it did. And Dave saw this one. Yeah. It's my Epiphone Les Paul Standard.
Mm-hmm.
Put a brass block in it, trim stopper, all that stuff, and yeah, this guitar is awesome.
Look at that. That's nice.
That's very cool.
Awesome.
That kind of reminds me of what I did to some of you guys might not have seen it. I know Dave saw it. My red special. It's gone through some changes, and it went through yet another change. Hubbard and I were talking, and Hubbard's like, "Hey, he's like, you should make it look like the 2012 version when it had the Black Floyd on it." And I was like, I don't know, I'm really not into the Black Floyds, and because I love the chrome hardware on this. And he's like, oh, he just kind of put the idea in my head, and I have the Guitar Man mag, and I looked, and I'm like, it had a chrome Floyd on it for the 2015 era, but in the 2012 era, it looked kind of like this. So I put a black EVH bridge on it with the titanium blocks and the stainless screws and the chrome detuner. And I'll tell you, the thing just it's not exact because Ed's was a cream binding. This is black. These are the block inlay stickers. I did tweak the headstock a little bit. I took the special off and put the white border around. So, I mean, it's not exact, but it is definitely one of a kind guitar. But I'll tell you, it sounds incredible with this bridge on here with the black and the titanium blocks and the stainless screws. I'm kind of digging it. I don't know if it'll stay this way permanently, but I kind of like it. I'm going to roll it for a little while.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks
Kinda
great.
reminds me of yours a little bit, Jared.
Yeah, it's I did my where's my special at? I got my guitars next to me. My made in China Stealth. I did the same thing. Put the
Nice.
I like the black hardware. It looks cool.
Yeah.
But this one has the stainless frets on it, and
Oh yeah.
this is probably one of my best playing guitars. I mean, just having the stainless frets on it, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Is that that got the arch top, the Chinese version? That's the arch top, isn't it?
Oh, now it's flat.
Flat. Wasn't there one,
It
Dave?
is
One of the
flat.
was it the Japanese version that had the arch top, Dave? The Japanese special stealth. One of the stealth specials had the arch top.
Is Dave frozen?
No, I'm here.
The Mexico specials have the arch top.
Oh, the Mexican.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. I couldn't remember which one it was. Oh, Dave, speaking of that, your body should be finished up this weekend. I'm going to plan on shipping it out to you on Monday.
Nice.
Oh gosh. Well, Dave is just ahead. Look at him.
I was a little slow on that one. No, I'm doing a multicolored tape body for Dave. Dave, I have one of Dave's Kramer Pacer bodies. It was like a kind of a candy apple red. So it's purple now, and it's going to be it's going to have all the tape all over it for the multicolored tape guitar. And I'll be sending you a cream pickup ring, so you won't have to get the pickup ring.
Okay,
the only thing you'll need to do is just get that right, get that skunk stripe pickup.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you need to do. But other than that, you'll be ready to roll.
Thank you very much.
And you got
I've
your
got a
neck
neck
coming.
coming. I've got a neck coming from Musicraft, so that's that'll be here, I guess, in the next week or so, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that'll be fun. Fun thing to put together.
Heck yeah, bro.
And Hubbard
Way
is,
cool, man.
Hubbard's building a mini Frankie little guitar.
Nice.
Yeah, he showed it to me last night. I was just like, man, that's so cool. But I keep telling him, like, why aren't of all the guitars you build, and I think that's cool. I'm like, why don't you do a little Les Paul? Pick up one of those little Lotus ones like I did. I'm surprised it's the one he hasn't done yet.
Who, me?
That would be cool.
No, Hubbard.
Oh, Hubs. Yeah. I think he wants to get something more realistic. If he can find like a Dave Pescillet, I'm sure he'd do that. Or if he can find a mini Wolfgang, he'd probably.
Yeah, well, like I said, he's doing the mini Frankie right now.
Oh, no
Working
kidding.
on that. He picked up a Squire, a 3/4 inch Squire guitar, and he took all the hardware off, and it's got the swimming pool route in it. So his dad's filling everything in. Then when he gets it back, he's going to take his router and route it up like the Frankie. And he found the neck for it. I forget where he told me, a maple neck. And it was just, so he's actually doing that guitar. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. But
So sorry. So this will be like the guitars that Edward used for the 2007 reunion,
yeah,
right? Which
yeah,
was
would be the 2000.
Yeah, 10 years ago today, right? Was the first show?
Right.
Yeah.
And I saw something about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's making one of those guitars? A mini?
He's making the mini Frankie. Yeah, the little guitars. Mini Frankie.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's going to be
That's
really cool.
Man.
He's already got the neck all relic and cigarette burned up and everything. It looks so cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Dave, can you pick up is there a way to get the Dave Petrolak guitars?
I think you can call him. I think he'll make you one.
He's still out there, isn't he? Yeah.
I think he's in Tennessee.
Huh.
He's a friend of mine on Facebook.
Is he really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he'll make you a guitar. I think it's just a lot of money.
Yeah, probably a lot of cash.
I'm thinking probably around $3,000 or more for the guitars. I'm thinking they're a lot of money.
Probably the labor that goes into making them is probably pretty extensive.
It doesn't matter that it's small. It's still a lot of labor on that. Right?
Yeah.
You mean he wouldn't just show up at my house with two of them, like before, like one night, just like he did with Dad at the Diver Down tour? Just, hey, here's two of them for you. And he wouldn't just show up and give me two?
Well, he might. It just depends on what you give him.
Yeah, exactly.
You might think that's Eddie behind you there.
Yeah.
Turn the cardboard around. Put the face in the window. Say, hey, I'm up here.
Yeah, just cut out the little mouth and get behind it and talk behind the Eddie. It's me, Dave. It's me.
It'll be like Weekend at Bernie's. Holding No, Dave, you can't come in. You can't come in. That's not feeling well. He just wants his guitar. Just give him to me. I'll give him to him.
Man, that's creepy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, Showman. Hey, man. Hello to everybody who's jumped in since we've been on. Lynn is in here. Chris. Zeke.
Oh, Zeke.
All you guys. Yeah. Yes.
Johnny, you got three Wolfgang. What do you got? Three Wolfgangs? Oh, that's your Music Man behind you, too. Okay.
Two Wolfgangs and a Music Man. Yeah.
That's
Nice.
And a Partridge in a Pear Tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And a Kramer and a pear tree.
Hey, Lynn.
Mm-hmm. We actually have those here. The partridges.
Do you have pear trees?
That's a bird, right?
Yes.
That's a little bird with a little thing sticking up.
I don't know if it actually has a little thing sticking up or if that was just part of the partridge family.
No, it does. We have them here.
Does
those
it?
actual birds? Yeah, they're like those ground birds where they're always on the ground and they're always running across the street.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah, they have to climb those things. The pear trees. Yes. Tubinin, what's my next favorite color of the Music Man? After that color? Where is it? Can you guys see it? Whatever color I have. What color is that, Dave? The one that I have.
That's amber.
That's amber.
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 My next favorite color next to the amber would be, I guess, I don't know, pink.
Would be anyone that was given to it.
I'd go with the purple. I still dig the purple.
Green for me.
Well, green, green is the ultimate. I mean, it's so hard to find those if you can find one. What are they, like $1 million, Dave?
You know what? Probably around $8,000 to $10,000.
Yeah. There's one on eBay that they keep showing once in a while, and the thing's like $35 grand or something like that.
Because of the quilt on it is just ridiculous. But no one's gonna pay for that. 7/8
Blue Music Man was my favorite. Yeah, I've had two Blue Music Mans, and I kind of regret getting rid of it. I sold both of them, and I mean, I don't regret any of my Wolfgangs, my PVs, or my EVHs. I love them, and I wouldn't want to sell any of them. But I do kind of miss my Blue Music Man. I really liked that color too.
I used to have one.
A blue one?
A blue quilt. Had it. It used to be my brother's, and I sold it probably 8 years ago, like an idiot. And it had the most beautiful blue swimming pool like color quilt top on it. It was just awesome. And
both of mine did.
I have a picture of it. I just went to try to find it. It's on my Facebook. I took my high school pictures. My high school class pictures were with me holding that guitar.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, Douglas,
yeah.
Douglas says that he had a purple Music Man that faded. What color did it fade to? Because I've seen some purple ones fade to almost like a brick color.
Yeah,
Like almost
I've seen
a dark red.
Wow.
This was mine.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
It was.
God, I miss that color, man.
Oh yeah, I miss mine.
I hate myself for selling it. You know,
I know. I did too.
There was so much other stuff I wanted at the time, and you know, at that time I was like, whatever. You know, and
We usually don't allow swearing on here, but if you guys want to start swearing over that, go ahead. I can't believe it. F.
Oh,
Mother.
yeah.
But make sure you say Nesdal after the bad word.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Here's actually a pretty cool pic. Here's a picture of it.
Look at that.
Here's a
cake.
picture of my amber one, which I still have, and the blue one together.
Oh, nice,
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
very pretty.
It was a great guitar. I mean, and I still got my amber one, obviously, but my 5150. But I don't know. I'm kind of like Dave. I mean, I love the music, man. And I guess as time goes on, I haven't lost any appreciation for them. I love how they play. I love the necks. I love everything about them. They are the mother of the EVH signature guitars. I mean, they're the mother of all the Wolfgangs. They were Eddie's first signature guitar.
Look at you with
And I
hair.
never wanted to be without one, but
There it is.
yeah.
That's your picture.
What year was that? You know?
Gosh, I couldn't even tell you.
Year you had hair.
Yeah, I know that. And I didn't have any facial hair either, and I wasn't bald. Yeah, I'm so baby faced. I was like 115 pounds when I graduated high school. God. Yeah, I miss that guitar though.
Yeah, they're cool. Johnny, did you ever have any other music bands, or is that the only one you ever had?
That's the only one I've ever owned. But I remember when you could go into Guitar Center in 1992, 93.
Yep.
And there was a huge wall of every color right there.
Really?
I remember.
You could play them. You could play them all. Yeah, and I remember the Guitar Center in Berkeley, California, when it used to be in Berkeley. They had one that had, a scratch or a dent or whatever. And they were selling it for like $1,000 or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
New guitar. Yeah.
Brooke May's Music back in the early to mid 90s used to sell a lot of really high-end guitars. I think that company went bankrupt. But I remember walking in there in the early to mid 90s and they would have them on the wall in there. It's a different time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I know we had guitar. I wasn't back in the early 90s, I didn't play guitar at that time. I didn't start playing guitar till mid 90s, but like 95, 96 was when I started. But I really wasn't, and I was a Van Halen fan, and I knew about the guitars, but I can't remember. I think we had some in our guitar centers, a couple near a city to me here, maybe about 45 minutes away. I almost swear I remember seeing like some red ones and some amber ones, because I used to go in and check out the guitars. I didn't play, but I also thought they were really cool. So I think we had them there too.
They had natural ones that looked a lot like this guitar here.
Yeah, yeah.
That color. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, the natural ones, you can see those on eBay once in a while. You'll see the natural ones floating around. You seem to find the amber ones, the natural ones. Purple ones will come up once in a while. You'll see a blue one once in a while. The red ones. But the pink and the green those are like the rarest of the bunch, aren't they, Dave?
Which ones?
Basically, the pink and the green.
Well, the green is. The pink's not very rare. The Gibson style gold top is very rare. The opaque black. There's only two opaque.
Oh yeah.
Not opaque. The flat black. The
Flat black.
Solid black. There's only two of them in the world.
You owned the gold one, didn't you? That was
I owned the gold one from the sleeve of Right Here, Right Now.
Wow.
That's cool. With the black head stuff.
Super cool.
Yep.
I used to have a poster of that. I had that poster. Oh, I'd love to grab that again sometime. That was so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they had that as a poster for like the European
leg of the tour.
of that tour or whatever. Yeah. Hey, sunshine. Yeah. Yeah, man. The days where you could walk into a shop, Guitar Center or whatever, and just see all those guitars on the wall.
Hell, I remember when the first PV Wolfgangs came out.
Yeah.
When they had those.
I
on
was
the
like
wall.
on the. Yeah. I remember it was end of 96, beginning of 97, when they first released them. I called this music shop about 2.5 hours away from where I live, because they were the closest dealer that could get them. And I said, I'll take the first one that comes in. I want my name on. And I was like, the guy's like, yeah, okay, no problem. So he's like, hey, we got one. We got a black one. You know, there was a patent pending model at the time. So I drove down there that day, 1996. Never forget, it was like a Wednesday or a Thursday. Took the day off from work, went down. And I had never owned an Eddie Van Halen guitar. I had not owned a Music Man at the time, because I'd only been playing guitar for like about a year at the time, you know. So that was the first. I had Kramers and stuff like that, but I'd never had a Music Man and whatever. I think I played one, but I'd never owned one. So I go down there and this beautiful black, you know, flat black patent pending PV Wolfgang, and I'm just like fell in love with it. And as I'm paying for it, this guy comes out of the back room and he's got a purple one, like kind of like the one I got now. And I'm like, whoa, I want that one instead. And the guy's like, no,
I don't want this crap. I want that one.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, I want the purple one. I want the purple one. And he's like, no. He's like, that was already spoken for. I'm like, oh, okay. So I took the black one, and I mean, like I said, it wasn't a year later. I'd already owned a purple one, you know. Yeah. But I mean, and that's when I got my first Music Man. But I remember the first time playing that signature Van Halen guitar for me was '97. And you know, like I said, I'd only been playing guitar for like a year. I was 20. How old was I? I was like 20, 97, 26. I was like 24 years old. Because I started playing guitar kind of late. I didn't start playing guitar until I was like 22, 23 or whatever. And I'm sitting there playing this thing, and it was just like, played like butter. I was like, whoa, this is incredible. You know, I'd never played a guitar like that. And all my friends were like, that is the coolest thing, you know. It was so cool when they came out, yeah. We didn't seem to have a lot of them kicking around, though, initially, like the shops at where I live. They weren't like hanging all over the walls and stuff. They were kind of, you had to like special order the thing to get them to come in where I live, you know.
Which ones? Which model?
The PVs, the PV Wolfgangs when they first came out. Yeah.
Yeah. Same with out here. Same out here. I never. It was actually years before I saw a Wolfgang in person, a PV.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You got your Music Man back then, though, right? You had your Ernie Ball.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've had that since '92.
Yep.
Or whatever. But yeah, they had the stores all had the catalogs, the brochures. Do you remember the PV brochure that it was like a 3-page centerfold?
Yep.
And it had the red one in the middle. I remember going to the stores and just grabbing handfuls of those things. I probably had like 50 of those things at one point.
I had in '98. I had Eddie sign a bunch of them. He autographed a bunch of those for me.
Oh. That's cool. Mm. Yeah, I got them all. I have all the pamphlets in the other room. Yeah, they're all saved up. Yeah, that's cool. That's right, because Dave, that's when you had your little Van Halen stint there.
Mm-hmm. He autographed a lot of stuff for me back then. It was very cool. Like, yeah, man, whatever you want.
Wow. I still think it's cool though that story you tell, Dave. Like when Eddie had already switched over to Music Man. He'd been playing Music Man. It was like '97 or '98, I think. Around that time frame, and he wanted a Music Man. He wanted a PV, and you couldn't get one, so he ended up letting him borrow a green Music Man or something.
No, what happened was the store had a Music Man, a green Music Man in stock, but it belonged to a customer.
Oh,
and
that's
it was
right.
an unopened box. So we called the customer, and the customer was like, "No, I don't care who it is. I don't want that box open." So we were like, okay. So I went home and lent Eddie one of my amber. I had a couple ambers. I lent him one of my ambers, and he took that for a week.
Yeah. And that would have been what year?
97.
97. So he had absolutely switched over to PV by then.
Yeah. Just Manny's didn't have any PVs at that time yet.
Yeah.
because he asked for one. He asked if the store had any P.B. Wolfgangs, and when we said no, he says, "Do you have anything with 2 humbuckers and a Floyd Rose?" And that's what he wanted.
Yeah, that's cool. I remember in 1998 during the tour, Gary Cherone and Eddie Van Halen came to the Boston Hard Rock Cafe. They did this radio tour thing, and they showed up. It was like 2 nights before, or it was a night or 2 before they played in Boston. The time that I saw them, one of the times I saw them in that tour. So I drove out to the Hard Rock Cafe, and I was there. The place was just jam packed. I was able to get in. I didn't get too close to the stage, but Eddie was up on the. I actually have it all on audio, the whole interview they did. And, I forget the name of the radio guy. It's Rock 102 out here is the radio station, but they interviewed Gary and Ed live from the Hard Rock Cafe in Boston, and they played a few songs. They played Josephina. They played Eddie Noodled Around, did Eruption, I think, a couple other little things. But there was this guy that had come in, and I don't even know. I mean, the guy had some serious balls because, I mean, it was just like, stacked in there. I mean, it was so tight. But the guy brought his amber Eddie Van Halen Music Man with him. And no case or nothing. He just had it, and he was like, cradling the thing like this the whole time. And he was able to get up and close enough to ask a question. And he said, "Ed, would you sign my guitar for me?" And Ed's exact words were, "Buy a Wolfgang."
Oh, no.
That's what he said. He goes, "Buy a Wolfgang."
Oh, damn endorsements.
And the guy's like, "Okay, that's cool." And Ed's like, "Well, it's like, when there was obviously still some tension, I guess, between Music Man and whatever. And he wouldn't sign it. He's like, "No, I'm not signing it." He's like, "You got to get a Wolfgang." So this poor dude brought his Music Man, and he had to hold on to it for the whole time. I have no idea what the guy did.
Did he leave and then come back with a Wolfgang and then work his way back up to the?
No.
The thing is, he was under contract with PV. He wasn't allowed to sign anything else. That was
exactly.
That was the reason why he didn't sign the Music Man that I had.
Right.
I'm glad he didn't. I didn't want him to, but he wrote me a nice note stating why he wouldn't sign the guitar, and if it was a PV, he would have signed it. And I'm like thanking God that he didn't sign it because I wanted to play the guitar. I didn't want it.
Right.
Didn't want it autographed. But he, with the note that he left me a bunch of guitar picks, and it was just a really nice little thing. So
yeah, that's almost better in my opinion. Unless you're gonna have a collector's guitar. I mean, if I was lucky enough to ever have Ed sign one of my guitars, I don't know which one I'd want him to sign because I love playing them all. I'm sure I could pick one out of 27, but probably be one of my Wolfgangs. But
I honestly don't know either. That's a tough decision.
I would actually almost ask him to sign like down by the volume knob. So
I would still want to play it like on the, I don't know, on the back on a part of the back of it maybe where it's not going to rub against my pants or my belt when I'm playing on it. Like, I don't know. It's just something where it's always going to be there, but I don't know which one I would choose either.
I mean, when you sign it on the top, where your elbow rests on the top of the body, you pretty much can't play it anymore because you have to rest that forearm on there. But
yeah, that happened to me. One of the times I went and saw Andy Summers, from the Police. He signed a Telecaster that I own, and there's video on this channel. Just search Andy Summers and you'll see the video. But he signs the front of the guitar, and then I said to him, "Well, can you please sign the back of the headstock because I play that guitar?" So he signed the back of the headstock and the body. So the signature on the body is kind of fading a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but the signature on the back of the headstock still there.
Yeah. Liquid Charlie has a strap signed by Ed. I've seen that thing. It was actually what didn't Ed send that to you, Charlie? Was it Ed that sent that to you? Who sent that to you?
Yeah, Ed and George Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
I have
it's
seen
really cool.
that strap in person.
I've seen that. That's a really cool piece of memorabilia.
Yeah, having Ed sign a strap, that's awesome.
You saw that, Jared? Did he get it framed? Was it framed?
No, it was just sitting up on his shelf or whatever. But I looked at it. I was like, man, that's so cool.
That's awesome, Charlie. That's very cool. Yeah, I saw that on Instagram. George Lopez shared the picture of you holding the strap today on his Instagram. I saw that. Yeah,
That's awesome.
very cool,
That
man.
is awesome.
Yeah, and it's the strap that Eddie was wearing when Eddie was playing the guitar. Remember that one video where George is acting like he's playing Unchained, and it's actually Edward. Yeah, the strap that Edward's wearing on that guitar, that's a guitar that he gave to George. That's the strap that they sent to Liquid.
Wow.
Very cool.
I would sleep with that strap if it was given to me, signed by me.
So basically, that would be a strap on.
Oh, come on. What was that?
That's almost as bad as the air that squeaks.
I did squealing, you know. Oh yeah.
That's like a horse sound. Yeah.
Oh man.
That's cool. That's very cool, you guys.
Speaking of that, did you guys hear that on the VH store? Or I don't know, but it's not VH store. They're coming out with striped thongs now.
Are they really?
I'm joking.
Oh, I was about to get excited.
They must be pretty thin stripes.
Christmas gifts.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what. This new girl that I started dating, I would buy her one. I'll tell you that much.
Nice.
But
Well, I remember they did sell a thong, right, or whatever, on the Carnal Knowledge tour.
yeah.
Remember, they did sell one. I mean, what did it say on it? It said like spanked on it or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah, of course you have to describe what thong means, because I remember the old days when flip-flops were called thongs.
That's right.
Remember that?
That's right.
That's right. And that's what I thought you were talking about. I'm like, wait a second, flip-flops? Coming out of Rob's mouth? Probably not.
No.
Probably not. Desiree, stop giggling back there. I hear you.
It'd be cool if they made a candy stripe.
Don't tell them any
edible
secrets,
thong.
Desiree.
I won't, Rob.
You know way too much about me and my shenanigans.
Oh my goodness.
Listen, it's
Come on.
not something I want to even think about knowing.
Dave, you know it all too.
Come on.
Anyways, yeah, Jared, we should get back into that man cave apartment single guy discussion.
Yeah, we should.
Oh gosh. Last 2 years of my life have been the most fun I've ever had. In a lot of ways.
Yeah, I've lived in. Well, a couple years ago, I didn't have nearly as much stuff as I have now, and I don't know. I've been in my apartment for a couple years, and I'm fortunate to where nobody lives next to me on the left.
Yeah.
And I'm on the bottom floor. It's almost like a condo. You can like park right in front of my apartment and walk up the patio door. And then the people that live on the right of me are never there. And I really don't care about my upstairs neighbors. But I'm fortunate to where noise is not an issue, and I don't really play my rig that loudly, but I can play it at 10 and 11 o'clock at night, and I'm not concerned about people pounding on the ceiling above me or pounding on my front door wanting me to turn it down. Yeah, it's
kind of like how my apartment is.
Yeah,
mine's the same exact way, Jared. It's set up like I almost live in like it's a house. It's a duplex, but the duplex is separated by like a little Segway closet that you actually drive underneath. And I got to get Dave out here to check my place out one of these days. Desiree and Dave got to come spend a weekend here sometime soon. But it's a huge apartment, but it's part of a house. So
right.
There's only the people that live next to me are the coolest people. So, and they're never around. And the funny thing is, the guy next door says to me yesterday, he goes, "Hey, how come I don't hear you playing and jamming very often? You got to play that music louder. Come on, play." I'm like, so the guy's like totally cool. So I can pretty much play as loud as I want to. I mean, when Hubbard was here for that week, I mean, we were just cranking my rig here.
Nice.
I mean, it was loud and didn't bother anybody. So I'm kind of in the same situation. It's like I can pretty much. I mean, if I'd have known when I moved in here 2 years ago that I could have kept my my little mini stack, because I had to set up like Dave. I had the 50-watt head and a couple of 2x12s. If I'd known that I could have kept those, I wouldn't have ended up with my combo. But like I said, it's not a big deal now because I got basically it is a 2x12. I got the combo with with another 1x12 head, and I got the other little one, the little one that to get the wet dry wet system. So it's basically a nice little setup. It sounds exactly how I want it to. So I'm not limited at all. So I'm pretty lucky, I guess.
The whole wet dry wet concept. I mean, when you're somebody like Ed, where your rig can go with you everywhere you go, and somebody else is going to set it up. And you have a sound guy who's awesome, and he knows that he's going to have to mic up 3 cabs and have everything mixed properly. The tone is unbelievable. But if you were going to go to some small hole in the wall bar and try to set up your own stuff, and you were telling the sound guy, "Hey man, I need 3 microphones for 3 cabs because I got a wet dry wet kit," he's going to look at you like you're an idiot.
Huh?
Are you kidding me? Yeah. You got 15 minutes to set up your stuff. You better hurry up, dude.
Right, exactly.
Oh, and you got to tear down even quicker.
Yep, exactly.
I can't tell you how many gigs I just threw the guitars in the cases. Luckily, whatever town I would go to, I had people that I knew, and I would pick somebody, and they would jump up on stage and help me tear down right when we were done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not pretty when you're tearing down. It's get the stuff out now.
Get it out.
So any extra hands, That's cool though. But yeah.
Yep, the wet dry wet is definitely for personal preference, I would say. When you're at home or you have a jam space, it's that's where it really flourishes. It's and there's nothing like it on the planet. Like just playing through a 412 with a head, that's all gravy. But when you play on 3 412s in a wet dry wet kit with the volume just blasting, like it's unreal. The tone
and it's hard to go back. You're right. I mean, playing through Pete's rig, when we went out there. Time it was just like whoa. I mean that was so much fun. I mean I never get to play like that and just feel the noise and the power. I had such a good night that night, hanging out with Dave and Chris and Pete and Mike Kelly and all those guys. We had such a blast that night. But even the little rig that I got set up now, I mean it's set up like that, and it's like it's funny because I was playing to my buddy's rig the other day. He just had he's got a 5150 combo, an old Peavey, and it sounds awesome. But it's so funny when it's been a couple of months now. I've been playing through my little rig here. Now you go play through that, and no disrespect to him, it sounds awesome. But it's like once you're used to that sound, it's like you don't want to go back. It's almost like ugh. I mean, sometimes I'll turn my my harmonist off, my PS6, if I want to get a more vintage sound. I don't want the the balancy sound. I'll turn the harmonist off, and I can get a more raw sound, but it still has that pinging, delay coming from the, it's that stereo sound.
Right.
So when you have that and you experience that, for me, because I've always loved that sound. When you play through something that doesn't have it, it's kind of like ugh,
Yep, I agree. And even like you go to Guitar Center and you plug into an amp, if it's like a Line 6 or something that has some a small amount of effects built into the combo, I'll automatically put it on a little bit of delay, just something to kind of color the tone rather than it being just completely dry and boring, just my own personal preference. And I'm spoiled with my rig. I'm completely spoiled when it comes to playing on just little bitty amps.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Snickers.
Hey. Cheers.
Look at that. Hey, 802 Blues. Hey,
Michael, great people watching.
Michael Collins. Adam Steinberg wants to know what's the story behind the wet dry wet. What's the cliff notes of that? Somebody.
Who wants to go? Gary,
Rob
you actually own it, so explain it.
Well, mine is not as complicated as like Pete's rig from what I've seen, but what Ed uses now is it's not super complicated, but the whole object is to have 3 speaker cabinets with a left and a right channel that are wet with effects. Okay, a little bit of delay. You don't really use a whole lot of reverb because you got to kind of work the delay, and it sounds fantastic, because if you use too much reverb, it's annoying. But and then the center cab is completely dry. When you're running in stereo, it all kind of mixes up in the air, and it's just, I don't know. It's just tone for days. And Ed is the #1 guy that to go to that has been known to use a wet, dry, wet rig. And there's a video on YouTube from the Balance Tour where he's in a news interview and he explains his rig. And that was one of the best interviews I've seen, where he's actually explaining his rig. You can see his rack, and it looks super complicated, but it's really not. I mean, he has the, I'd have to watch it again. It's been a while, but you with one speaker out or whatever, you use an attenuator or something, and then you run it to some power amps or whatever. Hubbard's rig and Pete's rig is the exact same thing. And that is pretty much how Ed runs his rig now. It's very, very, it's complicated, but there's a lot of videos on YouTube where these guys can explain it, and it's pretty easy to follow. But the main thing is that the tone that you get from that is just awesome, and it will completely spoil you. My rig is very, very simple. I use the Big Shot ABY switch box to run 2 heads and 3 speaker cabinets. I use my lunchbox head usually completely dry through the center speaker, and then I run 2 speakers with my 100-watt stealth head with all the effects going to it. And it was just kind of a cheap route, an $80 pedal, just to be able to run that whole deal with my new board and all that stuff. But the actual way to do it is with power amps and all that stuff, and it just gets really, really complicated from there. But the bottom line is that it's tone that you wouldn't believe.
That's the truth.
It absolutely is.
Man, what a long way around that one. Huh?
that was the short version.
I mean, I got the cheap rig. I mean, it's not like Pete's. It's not like Ed's.
It's the same thing, dude.
But it's the same concept,
It's the same sound. It sounds great. Don't even worry about cheap or expensive. It's good. It sounds really good.
Yeah, it's the same
That's
thing.
what matters.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
And like you said, I mean, it will spoil you too. That's kind of what I was saying before. I mean, when you hear that sound, it's just like, there's nothing like hitting a chord or doing a little lick and having that just like in your face stereo detuned sound.
Right.
With that chorus, it's just like, whoa! It just sounds incredible.
And you can watch the YouTube footage of the free show from the Balance tour when they were in Amsterdam at that club.
Yeah, at the Veronica there.
And you can see Ed. He had 3 white cabs behind him, and his rig is probably off to his left, but you can see 3 cabs, 3 mics, and that's what he's doing. He's doing wet, dry, wet with those 3 cabs with a badass sound guy. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the tone was just unreal.
Yeah, it was a very huge, majestic, like, I wouldn't say overly. I don't like to use the word overly processed because it's a processed sound, and some people don't like that sound. A lot of people like the more raw Eddie Van Halen sound. I prefer that sound. That's just me. I like that ballad sound, but
I'm with you. I mean, 100%. The only thing that was really processed though was his harmonizer, you know.
right.
But it was used for color. I mean, it sounded great though, because he's always had just such great mixture, you know.
Right. Yeah, and his playing was, and the thing too is his playing style and how he frets and his attack on the guitar. Just is so crisp. He's always such a clean player. You know, he doesn't have any extra sound. I mean, if you want to hear a really good example of that, of that show, or of that tour, yeah, that free show they did in Amsterdam, the Luxor Holland show, but also the Toronto '95 pay-per-views too.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite. Just awesome tone.
You listen to his guitar solo, and it's just like, I mean, it's like, you know, mouth dropping, like. He's there and just stare at it. It's like, whoa.
Yep. It was awesome. He was he was on fire on that solo. It's just unreal.
Yeah,
right.
He was.
He was all right.
He was all right. Didn't do anything to me.
What I always found funny though was Ed's playing through the years, like starting in Balance and even up to now, he plays his attack on the guitar is very similar to what it was in the Balance era up till today. He doesn't. I still can't figure it out. If you listen to Ed play Spanish Fly, that little run where he goes and just goes all the way up the neck. You listen to him play it. He's playing it all on the B and the high E string, and he's picking the first note on the B string, hammering on the second notes, and then he's picking each note on the high E string.
Right.
So out of 6 notes, he's picking 4 of them, and he's hammering on the rest. But if you watch him play that lick now, he picks everything. He doesn't hammer it on.
Yeah, he's 62 years old, and he had his hand rebuilt. I mean, after the 07-08 tour, like his hands were just giving away. And he had to get them redone, and sobriety had a lot to do with it. But he plays it differently now. But it
still sounds awesome.
But he does everything differently now because that's the way he can.
This whole deal that he does, this picking style, like I don't know how he does that.
He's been doing that since day one, though.
I know, but it's just hard. I can't get my hand to do that rhythm for longer than 5
how about
seconds.
guys like Marty Friedman? Marty Friedman picks like it's so weird the way Marty Friedman picks.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You know, some of these guys, it's like, how did you learn, dude?
Yeah, I know.
But listen to him. You listen to him, it's like, well, okay, doesn't matter. That's how good he is, you know?
You got to figure it out. So, Johnny, that reminds me of that picture. You here? Johnny, you here?
Cricket.
Never mind. I'll ask when he comes back. That's funny.
Oh, it's so funny.
Ding, 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 Johnny! Where you at?
54 people watching right now. 21 thumbs ups. We're in the bottom of the 6th. 2 on, 2 out. And
My Only Sunshine. Does Rob play out any? You know, I used to about maybe 8 years ago. I really don't anymore. I don't have much time. I'd love to start. I really would. I'd love to start playing out. There's really nobody around my area that likes to play the kind of music that the Van Halen type stuff. I mean, there's some guys that play, but I mean, I don't know. I'd like to. I probably should at some point. I'd love to get back into it. I probably will at some point down the road. I'm so busy with my job and all of my safety classes that I teach and my martial arts stuff. I don't have a lot of time. But yeah, I probably will at some point. I'd love to.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
Anything from anyone in the live chat? Any questions? Anyone have anything to say that they want answered? Anything at all?
Bueller.
Anyone?
Anyone?
The Polly Smoot tariff act, which anyone raised, lowered?
That's funny.
So funny.
Oh, gosh.
Love
So,
that.
Jared, when are you gonna do one of these? When are you gonna get one
Oh
of these?
man, that guitar's awesome.
Well,
It's super
Yeah,
cool,
one of these.
man. I know. I need one.
Hardwood Steaks has a question, and 7 over 8 has a question about Rob Steinberger.
Oh boy, I knew that was coming up.
Who's Rob Steinberger?
Oh, Johnny, real quick before I forget, that picture you sent the other day of Ed with Frank.
Wait a minute. Huh?
Know what I'm talking about?
No.
Ed with a Frankie with a white pick guard.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
saw that.
Yeah. Yes.
That was cool. That was really cool.
Remember when you were in the Beatles?
Remember?
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Spanky McAllister, Rob, why don't you do a blue Frankie to match that blue striped neck you already have? Yeah, I'm actually thinking about doing one of those. Actually, I do. I have the blue headstock Frankie neck up there that I did. Yeah, I think I will do one at some point. That's kind of a cool guitar. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And there's the real quick. There's the picture he's talking about right there. Right?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
That one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Love the shirt.
There it is.
That's my favorite.
Johnny has that shirt.
Kind of.
That particular one?
Don't you have one like that?
Similar. Kind of.
Johnny's wearing the T-shirt with the lint all over it, the one that bothers Dave so much.
Oh, well, yeah, with my new lighting here for the time being, you can actually see my shirt. Yeah.
Is that lint or is those dots?
There's little squares.
Oh, little squares.
They're little blue, green, and red squares. You can only see the blue ones, though, on the camera.
He wears it because of the noise, Dave.
I just want to pick off all the little doohickeys on it.
Doohickeys.
Hardwood, it would probably be best if you just asked the question in one big thing. Because it's like now I'm like chomping at the bit to try to answer your question.
Huh? Yeah. And
Hardwood
also,
Steaks has been trying to ask a question, but he's asking it one word at a time.
mm-hmm.
Who is it, Dave? 7 over 8?
Steaks. Hardwood Steaks. He
yo,
hasn't
Hardwood.
actually asked it yet. He's kind of like giving us a back.
Romeo Delight 90 has a good one there. Can you see that?
What speakers work best for the Brown sound, greenbacks, or vintage 30s?
Thank you, Douglas.
I am not sure.
I got a question. I got an answer for 7 over 8. He's talking about the Steinberger. He says, is it easy, seamless to go from the trans trem being tuned up to not locked, like in Summer Nights into when the drum kicks in? It is. And I'm not plugged in, so I don't know if you guys are going to hear this, but like on the trans trem right here, the whole intro is when it's locked up, basically, like right here. Hold on. So it's locked up like this, and so it's all locked up right here. It's this is how he's playing it. He's going like that, and then he goes into with a pick slide like that, and at the end, it is seamless because all he does is he just drops the bar, so it's. That's all it is. All he does is just unlocks it. So he's up high, and he's basically.
Huh? What?
Can you guys hear that?
Well, not kind of. So at what point does he unlock? He goes down. He goes down what, a step?
Yeah.
He goes down
all
a step
hold on.
for the verse. Is that what you're saying?
Hang on. Let me just Wait, turn
The
it on.
the pre-verse. Is that a word?
I don't know. And
That's what I'm
hardwood,
thinking.
yes. Hardwood, yes. It is F sharp to E.
Hang on. The easiest way to do it is just hold on. I'll just plug in. I'll show you. There's no way to really.
Jay says he pulls up on the bar before the drums kick in.
I'll show you.
Do you have one of those Snarks tuners on that guitar? Or whatever? You know, the ones that fit on
Where are
the
you gonna put it? Where are you gonna put it?
Well, that's the joke.
Yeah, sure. That's
I got one.
Yeah, but you have headstocks to put it on.
I know.
All right. So basically,
Remember, don't turn up too loud because it'll just
yeah, I know.
grumble.
Grumble,
Let me
grumble,
turn- let me get-
just like me.
A Stein grumbler.
Okay. So basically, he's got it's locked all the way up, top notch. So and the two and basically this is where the intro. That's what it is. Then he goes into when he unlocks it and he goes down to standard, it's basically that's all it is right there.
So
So
that's
it's locked up. That's standard. So it's locked up here. That's all it is right there. It's all done seamless like that. And that's all he is, just unlocking the bar.
it's on the Dunana.
Da-da-da, da-da-da.
What part was it?
Right here. Like, okay, it's high now. It's locked up. Right here.
Come on, we're losing them, man. We're losing them. Everybody's leaving now.
That's just,
No, they're not. Quiet. Let him teach us.
that's exactly what it is. It's just it's high here. It's locked up. Then that's
really
it.
good.
That's all it is. It's really so simple. It's so simple. And he does the same thing in Fire in the Hole too. You know?
That's cool. What key is locked? Douglas says.
One day I'll have that guitar.
It's such a cool little guitar. Jared, you got to see this sometime. You got to play this.
I would love to see that thing. I bought that Hohner G3T a long time ago to have a Steinberger similar guitar, and I hate that Hohner.
They're good little guitars, though. I mean, they're cool.
Yeah, I never play it. I took the Steinberger trim out of it, and I have it, but I'm trying to figure out what to do with it because the tremolo system is cool, but the guitar itself, I don't know, it just sucks. I just don't like it.
Just like those 5 thumbs downs.
Yeah, bunch of everybody's drinking all that haterade.
Nice. Nice. I like that.
Haterade.
Haterade.
I'll take the 0.
Yeah.
0 here, please.
Uh-huh.
Dave hadn't played one of the 5150 guitars until he played mine.
Yeah, it was a great guitar.
Yeah.
It was good.
Hubs and I got to play one at Music Zoo that day. They were pretty cool. I loved them. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You going to put a Kramer logo on yours?
He did.
I did.
Oh, you did. Oh, you did. You did. Oh, you did. Let's check it out. Let me see.
Heck yeah.
Nice. Nice. I forgot about that. Yeah. That
looks
looks so
awesome.
cool with the EVH. Yeah, it does. It looks
yeah.
awesome with the EVH.
Nice. Look at that.
You know that's why they left that blank like that so people could do that.
Oh,
You know it.
yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, this guitar is awesome. It's one of my favorites.
Mhm.
Oh, that's cool. You got the FU on there.
Yeah, I give Adam a shout out. I'll put his sticker on the back of all the guitars that I've FU toned.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Adam Steinberger asked how that guitar is compared to mine, and it's not the same at all, but it's very cool. It's just the same. It's a very, very different guitar. The only thing that looks similar is the striping pattern. That's it. Both great guitars, though.
Yep.
BV Ninja goes, Rob, your chair needs a set off. It does. It's so squeaky.
Oh, yeah, that's been everyone's. I'm surprised that's the first thing you read about that. Everyone's been talking about
I gotta oil that stupid chair. It's
Everyone
so
has been yelling at you this whole what is it, 9:16, about an hour's worth.
I'm sorry, guys. I promise I'll oil the thing up here before the next hangout. I promise.
I never noticed it.
Crazy too.
You're talking about the chair, right?
In fact, that's why we have 5 thumbs down. It's that chair.
Yeah, it's so annoying. Remember that old stool I used to have? It was even worse. It was like.
Sounds like a pterodactyl.
Man, you should sit on that stool that Hubbard gave you.
Yeah, it's right behind me. The problem with that one is it's too tall. It's too tall, though.
And you're wearing shorts, right?
No, I'm not wearing any bottoms. But.
Oh, okay.
Oh, God.
Hey, Jared, did you see this? Did you ever see this? This is the Hot for Teacher that Hubbard and I redid.
Yeah,
Check this out.
Yeah, that thing is awesome.
Oh, yeah, it came out so cool.
So sweet.
There's Dave's favorite part. But the bottom of it just came out insane. Oh, just came out so good. Had so much fun doing this with him.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, it came out awesome. And it
Great
plays
guitar.
incredible. I love how this guitar plays. You know? But,
It's what a lot of people don't realize is you can take Eddie Van Halen and think of maybe, I would say 4 or 5 really iconic guitars that he played on. You know, you'll have his original Frankie, you'll have the 5150, the Music Man, and then the Wolfgang. A lot of people that haven't done a whole lot of research and watched a whole lot of his videos would probably think that those are the only guitars that he's played on. But he has played on tons and tons and tons of them.
Yeah.
And like you got the Hot for Teacher guitar there. So that's not the same guitar as the 5150.
Mm-hmm.
But if
same body style, but it's slightly different.
Right. It's a little bit different. But most people, when they'll watch the video, they see the stripes. And then they think, oh, yeah, that's the same guitar that he's playing here and here and here and here. And it's not. And it's not.
Yeah.
Hardwood Steaks has another great question. He says, question, hey, Dave, do you think Eddie got the shape of the Yearnable Music Man from Pete Townsend? And I know why he asked that question, because in 1982, Pete Townsend was using Schecter Telecaster guitars. The most famous one was a gold one that he was using with 2 humbuckers. But Hardwood, to tell you the truth, Eddie didn't come up with the design of that guitar. It was already a guitar that Music Man had designed called the Axis. It was called the Axis before and after it was the Eddie Van Halen model. What made it the Eddie Van Halen thing is basically Eddie just wanted 2 humbuckers and a Floyd, but the shape was already out. Music Man had already come up with the shape, and that's why the Wolfgang looks slightly different, because Eddie doesn't own that shape. So there you go.
The interesting thing, too, about Music Man, as Dave just kind of brought up, kind of an interesting segue, is I have an interview from, I think it's Guitar 1, 1992 or 3, or it was a Guitar 1, or it was one of those off. It wasn't Guitar for the practicing musician or guitar player. It was one of those, like every 6 months guitar magazines that came out back in those days. And they did an interview with Eddie. He'd only been playing Music Man guitars for like a year or 2 at the time. It's during the Right Here, Right Now tour. And he talks about, I have the magazine somewhere, I have to dig it up, but he talks about when Music Man, when he first went to Music Man and said, build me, a guitar. Before they showed him the Music Man body shape, they handed him a striped Strat type guitar, kind of like this. And Eddie's like, I don't want that. I want something different. I want, like Dave said, he said, I want 2 humbuckers. I want something different. I'm not looking for the striped Strat guitar again. And that's, we actually, Johnny, Dave, and I have showed some pictures of Dudley Gimple and Sterling Ball and Eddie at Music Man holding even, the earliest designs of that guitar before, it even became the Axis with that type of a body shape. And it's kind of interesting because everybody just assumed that Eddie wanted a striped Strat type guitar, and he didn't. He wanted to get away from that. He was even looking at Steinberger guitars as doing an endorsement deal with, but ended up not going with Steinberger because he just couldn't get used to the body shape and the weight and stuff. But yeah, it's kind of neat. Like what you said, Dave, when they handed him the Axis body,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also, Jim, is it Nicholas? Nicholson. Yes, Jim says, hey now. Oh, it vanished. Oh, no.
I hate when that happens. It happens. It was like it's almost the same as the BHB. Is that Bruce thing?
I was about to read it.
Every time it vanishes.
Left.
Every time.
I've got the Facebook. I enabled it to where every time I get like a notification, either it be YouTube or Facebook message or whatever, it pops up as a little box in the bottom right hand corner of my screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see some of that stuff.
Bye,
Hey now,
BB.
hey BB, bye. Hey Dave, what was the pickup you want to start? Can we just erase this? Okay. Hey, what was the pickup configuration on the pre-Eddie Axis guitars? And also, were they hardtail bridges?
Good question. We've seen a prototype that had 2 single coils and a humbucker and a Floyd Rose on it. But the single coil routes didn't have pickups in it. Mm-hmm. So
Do you have that picture?
I don't have that. I think Rob and you do. I know you do somehow.
Yeah, I'll find it. I got it right here if you want me to show it.
There's a photo that they'll show that there's those 3 aforementioned people, Dudley Gimple, Sterling Ball, and Eddie Van Halen, are in the picture. Eddie is holding a new Music Man. At the time, it was a new Music Man with a hum single. And I believe Dudley Gimple is holding the 5150 guitar.
Yes.
There's a couple different photos of that, which is very cool. So if you just hang out a second, we'll show you. Hardwood says, what about the version of the Eminence front where Pete in '82 is playing the style could have been... Let me start...
What about the live version of Eminence Front where an 82 Pete played that style? Could Eddie have been inspired?
It's the same guitar except it was black. It was the same, same exact Schecter Telecaster, 2 humbuckers, as the gold one that I had mentioned that he used for that tour in '82. But in the Eminence Front video, he used a black one. Yeah, there's the video. That's it right there.
Yeah, here's 1 or 2 pics. Yeah, you can see Dudley Gimble in the back with a 5150, and you guys can see that guitar right there.
Oh wow!
It's kind of blurry.
I've never seen that picture before.
And that's before it became anything. There's another one. Stand by.
It's definitely a prototype.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, cool. So that was what, 80, 88, 89?
That was 90 or 91.
90 or 91? Okay.
Yep.
It was probably 90.
Okay. It was for sure in the works. I mean, he knew it was happening there. Okay.
Really cool though. Really cool pick. So it just goes to kind of show you that how they were kind of processing the whole project, like, oh, we want this, he doesn't want this, he doesn't want that. And he obviously brought the 5150 with him because he said, "This is how I want it to feel. This is how I want it to sound. I don't want this body style, but this is the neck that I want." And then they digitized the neck, you know, and made the Music Man have that 5150-ish kind of feel to it, that broken in kind of feel.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Yeah, the American. Yeah, only one pickup in that guitar. It would. Again, that was a very early prototype, and I guess they wanted to do whatever pickup configuration Eddie would want, so they put all the routes in it to maybe make it look more like his Frankenstein guitar if he wanted that. Maybe
Right.
a dummy pickup in the neck and a 5-way switch in the middle position, if he so wanted it that way. But I think that he ended up not doing that, of course.
They made him a striped Music Man, though, didn't they?
Yeah, they made him a couple striped Music
Yeah.
Man, but they were 2 humbucker guitars.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Carr, the guitar that Sterling was holding was just a silhouette with a Floyd Rose.
Looked like a silhouette, yeah.
It might have been just a 1 pickup silhouette.
7/8. Yeah, that's the story. That's what we were all told. That Judgment Day was apparently the last song that the 5150 was known to be recorded on, or
The guitar.
the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Obviously, he was playing through a Soldano or an early 5150, or both at the time, but that's why the song sounded different. It didn't sound like the 5150 guitar, but yeah, that was the last song.
Douglas, Eddie didn't even design the Music Man pickups. Those were DiMarzio's. He didn't design them at all.
Well, there were pickups that were designed in the 80s and maybe even the late 70s.
Yes,
That were
by
Eddie-
DiMarzio.
that were
by
Eddie
Alan-
inspired.
Yeah, by DiMarzio and by Duncan. Both companies made pickups for Eddie, but Eddie didn't actually make the pickups.
Mhm.
And I think they're the same pickups that are in the Axis today, pretty much, aren't they? Like the tone zones.
Yeah.
The Music
Well,
Man.
that's another thing that people are arguing over. The same as what body wood is the 5150 made out of.
Yeah, and that's one that I don't think anybody's ever. I mean, I go back and forth. I tend to agree with Dave. You know, I used to be a Poplar fan, and now I'm kind of a Basswood fan, and it's a tough one. It's hard to say. I mean, it just depends what was sitting around the Kramer factory at the time. You know, I mean, Eddie had both. I mean, you know, I mean, I know we all know that Unkert said that Poplar was what they were using, and that's absolutely true. But at that time, Unkert was gone, and there was basswood that had been introduced to the herd at that time.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, I believe in a lot of the stories, you know, the Felice stories as well. I mean, Felice was there. He painted most of the guitars, most of not just Eddie's guitars, but most of the guitars that came out of Kramer, he painted.
Right.
The hollow flash graphic, all the graphics, he did everything.
Yeah.
Dennis Klein did graphics too, but for the most part, it was George Felice for a long time. But, you know, the very early guitars that came out of Kramer for Eddie, they could have been Poplar. You know, the Frankie-looking ones, I would imagine, were Poplar. But I think I tend to believe that Eddie may have ordered specific guitars, specific wood on specific guitars, like give me a half a dozen guitars that are made of, you know, made of ash, and a half a dozen made of basswood. And then, you know, as the bodies got painted, they got used.
Yeah.
That being said, I still don't know what the 5150 is. No one's ever going to know it until someday that guitar is under a microscope
Dissected.
and you know, and looked at. You know, maybe one day there'll be a replica made of that guitar, like a real replica, and someone will be able to look at the original guitar and definitively say what wood it is. But until then, no one's going to know.
What are we thinking, Dave? Are we thinking? I mean, if we had to call it, are we thinking Zeke Clark probably painted that guitar in the 5150?
No, he didn't do it at all because Zeke didn't start working for Eddie until '86.
Okay.
So that guitar was made in '82.
Right.
The guitar was made in late '82. So it was probably. I mean, it could have been Rudy that painted it. We don't know.
We don't know.
No one knows. Yeah, there was talk that George Felice painted it, but the story, as George told me, as George and Paul Unkert told me, George told me that the Hot for Teacher guitar was one of the very first guitars he painted for Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
That being said, that particular guitar is the very last guitar that Paul Unkert built for Eddie Van Halen.
Right.
So if it's the first one that George painted and the last one that Unkert built, and we know that the 5150 guitar was made before that, there's no way that Felice could have painted that guitar.
Right.
So it was probably a body and a neck that was made at Kramer, sent to Eddie, and then put together for the '84 tour.
Yeah.
Or late '83, because we know that it was at the US Festival.
US Festival. Yeah. Hardwood's got a good question. When Eddie played with Sammy early, do you think tuning to E440 changed his tone? I wouldn't say it necessarily changed his tone, because I mean Eddie's Eddie. I think playing to standard E440 changed gave him a little bit more, let him branch out. I mean, if you listen to 5150, it's such a happy, it's just such a blazing happy album. I mean, you got just the riff to 5150, the song is just like, it's just so much different. It's more melodic. I mean, you got Sammy here that's singing at high keys that Eddie had never experienced before. So it opened up a whole new world for him. You got Good Enough, you got Summer Nights. They're all just happy, fun songs, and it was a new band. I mean, it was Van Halen, but it was a new band, and they had this singer now that could sing in high keys. So that totally changed Eddie's playing. It changed the type of music that he was writing, because now he could do things that he necessarily couldn't do with Roth. Right, wrong, or indifferent. It's not a slam against Roth. It just changed the dynamics of the type of music that Eddie could write now. So they were in a very happy mode at that time. Very happy, very melodic, and that's why 5150, the album was just so upbeat and so like whoa, So I don't think it changed his tone, but it definitely changed the melodicness of what was coming out of his writing and his playing,
Right. So your mom also has a great question. Anyone know the last time Eddie recorded with his Marshall? And people are saying the Balance album and Big Fat Money. He did record using that amplifier on that record and that song, but the very last time he used that amplifier, to my knowledge, was on A Different Kind of Truth.
Right.
There were 3 amplifiers used at once. It was a new 5153 head, a 5152 PV head, and the Marshall, all in tandem at the same time.
Yep.
And that was used on most of the tracks. So if you listen to A Different Kind of Truth, the Marshall is all over it.
Yep. I mean, I have that magazine. There's a magazine where Eddie says that, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Johnny's gone again. You are gone. Out of
The
here.
funny thing is, too, somebody asked a question a few minutes back. I can't find it now either, but somebody had said something about, when the For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge album, what was that, or something like that. I think Eddie was hot on the Soldanos at that time.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah.
You have to watch. There's a Michael Saldano interview on YouTube, that you have
Oh,
to.
really?
Yes.
I'll check that out. I'll have to check that out. But yeah, he was hot on those Soldanos, and that was one of the reasons why he came up with a 5150. I mean, a lot of people will say that the 5150, the original one, is just a hotter Marshall. Excuse me, a hotter Soldano. But Dave, you getting that?
What?
There he is. He's tucking the chickens in.
Oh,
tucking
okay.
He's tucking the chickens in.
You know, I was at Guitar Center the other day, and they have that room set aside that has all the really expensive guitars in it.
The premium room.
Right. They had a Soldano in there, and you know what the price tag is on that amp head?
Oh,
retail?
$3,500?
Huh?
$3,500?
No,
Then I don't know.
5150.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Makes you wonder.
If it was one of his? If it was one of Ed's?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. One of the managers in there, when he realized I was a big Van Halen fan, he was like, "Let me show you something." And it was a brand new Soldano, and it had a white sticker on it, and the retail sticker on it was 5150. And then he was telling me that the 6505s are hyped up the exact same kind of head, you know, and they're just kind of modded and all this other stuff. But I thought that was interesting.
Well, that's what the 5150 amps were based off of. They were based
Right.
off of. So.
It's funny. My buddy years ago, used to have a Soldano amp. It was a 100-watt head, and he had a Marshall 4x12 cab. And I remember listening to him play. It was that had that kind of bluish purplish Tolex around the head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's beautiful, beautiful head. And I just love the look of the thing more than anything else. But the sound that thing had was just insane. And he ended up selling it years later, and it was just mint condition. I don't know what he got for it. Like I said, this would have been like 15 years ago. But man, I wish I'd have jumped on that. I would have loved to have had a Soldano head. Dave, have you ever owned one?
No, I've played through a bunch of them though. Some of them sound great, some of them don't.
Yeah. They're kind of Marshall-y sounding to a certain extent, you know?
Yeah, hot rodded Marshall. Yeah. Maybe a bit of scoop mid range, a little too scooped for me.
Yep.
They're kind of cool. I mean, I liked it. I liked the when Clapton used them in I guess 1990 or so when he did the Journeyman record. He was using Soldanos.
He was using one of those? Really?
Yeah, a couple of them. Yep. He used them for quite a while, 1990 to about 1995. He was using Soldanos. But, and then he started going. And then he went to Bassmans, Fender Bassmans. But I love the sound that he got out of them. A lot of people don't, but I did. But he didn't use the high gain channel either. He used more of a clean sound of that amp, and then used the boost on his guitar for that.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
In the small club scene here in Dallas, I see a lot of people that play on just the 5153s. They're not the Stealth or the EL34s, but just the 5153s. And I know they have as much gain as you would ever possibly want, and it caters towards a lot of metal guys that want a lot of gain on their amps. But it's funny because every time I go to metal shows on the weekends at these really small clubs and I'll see somebody play on a 5150, I automatically go to their head and I look at all their knob settings and I look at their board and see exactly what they're using, and then I'll listen while they're playing to how it sounds.
Yeah. Are they typically playing on a red channel, do you know, Jared, or are they playing on a blue?
Red channel with the gain at about 10 or 11 o'clock.
So they're playing pretty hot then.
They're playing pretty hot, but like even on my rig, I play on the red channel with the gain at 1 o'clock. But
Okay, yeah.
but running through the effects loop with my processor, I have all the EQ stuff set properly, so I don't get a lot of feedback. And it still sounds great. And then on the blue channel, I'll have the gain right about at the same point, 1 to 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
But I don't, to be honest, I don't really use the blue channel that much. Because I still have I still have my PV5150, and it's either clean or dirty with that head. And the gain on my 5150 PV5150 is at 1 o'clock, just like my 5153 stealth head. And the amount of gain that you get from both heads is almost identical. However, my stealth head, I feel, has a lot better EQ and thumpiness than the PV5150 does.
Right.
That's the resonance.
Right. The resonance on that stealth head is just awesome. It's just super cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Richard Schick. Hey, man. Good to see you.
Richard.
Yeah, he says he played in a post-hardcore band for 10 years, and he never put his 5150 pre-gain past 10 o'clock.
At high volumes, I can definitely see that. I don't get to play at really high volumes at a club. Even then, I think most people don't turn them the volume knob past like 9 or 10 o'clock. And then the sound guy does most of the other work. But in my apartment with the gain at about 1 o'clock, and my volume is at like 7 o'clock. It's very, very low. So having that much more gain is, it's pretty much where it should be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of times, when I would use my my 412, my PV 5150, a lot of times you get the sound, or even whatever amp, whatever you're using on stage. You have the amp behind you,
Mm-hmm.
and then the sound person is running the sound, through speakers towards the audience where it's super loud, right? And
Right.
a lot of times you find yourself going back to your amp and turning up just for yourself.
Right. Yeah. Unless you have monitors, I guess, and but some bands don't.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's man, look how wide I am.
Oh, because it's all about.
You go from green to orange to white to blurry.
Look at this. Yeah. I'm using this new light. Look at that. Wow. No. I've played. I've done tours where the sound person runs. They ask you what you want in your monitor. Oh, I want some drums. I want so much guitar. You never want bass. And I want some of the main vocal.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you guys good? Hey, Citizen Kane.
I am.
I know. There's aliens.
This one, Jared? Did you see this one, Jared? The 918V?
I've seen pictures of it.
Yeah,
that's another one. That thing is super, super cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool guitar.
Mm-hmm. That guitar is at the Hard Rock Cafe in Rome right now.
Oh, really?
Really?
And
Of
they
Rome,
go.
Italy?
Yeah. And they
Are you
go.
sure about that?
What?
Are you sure about that?
What?
That guitar is in Rome?
Isn't it?
No.
What? It's at Dave's? I mean, it's at
It's in
Rob?
It's in Northfield, Massachusetts.
Is that what you're saying? Come on, no joking around, guys. I'm serious.
That's not the one that's in Rome.
Which one's in Rome?
The one that you saw in the New York City Hard Rock Cafe.
That one is?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, the one that Ed and Val donated. The one that.
that one is. Okay, well, whichever. You guys are crazy with your knowledge on this stuff. Let me just say.
This
I
one-
don't think we know where this
right
one is
here.
now, do we?
I
It's
just
this one right
pressed the
here.
play button.
This one right here is the one that's in Rome.
I don't think
Okay.
we know where this
Okay.
980 one is now.
I think it's in Orlando, Florida.
Well, huh? Whatever it is. I know Desiree. Desiree, can you hear me?
Yes.
Check 1 2.
I can hear you.
No, whatever I was saying, whatever guitar it is that's in Rome. There's some Van Halen striped guitar in Rome. They all look the same to me. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. Whichever it is, the Rome Hard Rock Cafe, they go live all the time on Instagram under the stories. If you follow them, you'll see they're always partying, having all sorts of events and stuff. And every time they go live, I'll click on it just to see if I can see that guitar on the wall there.
That's cool.
But usually it's never.
Yeah.
It's always been never.
It's always been never.
It's always been never.
It's always never.
That's my new band name. It's always been never.
The
I'm gonna
one
turn my amp up past 10. Yeah.
The trouble with never.
I've taken my photo with the one they have it's just one of the black and white striped Charvel Art Series guitars in Vegas when you walk up the steps to the Hard Rock restaurant right there on the Strip in Vegas. When you go right up the escalator, they have an Eddie guitar right there with this. He signed it during I think it's the 04 tour. He signed that one. But it's up there when you go up that escalator. And that's the only one that I see at any of the Hard Rocks. The Hard Rock that's here in Dallas is like a fancy restaurant. Like they don't have hardly anything in there.
Nothing?
Nothing. I mean, it's super fancy. It's quiet, and there's hardly anything on the walls in there.
They got dishes.
They have dishes. They have people washing dishes.
Fancy schmancy.
Man. Well, I haven't been to a Hard Rock in years. Well, actually,
Yeah.
it's been years. The one in San Francisco was the last one I was in.
Dude, you went to the one in LA to take photos of that.
Oh, okay.
Neptune.
Well, then that was the last one I was in then. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I was in LA one 3 years ago, and I got photos of me in the Neptune. And then where else? The one in the Music Zoo. The one in New York, the Hard Rock Cafe in New York, they didn't have any Eddie Van Halen guitars there. I was like, huh? That's
Nope.
weird.
Nope, they gave it away.
Which is the one that has the candy striped bar top?
I've heard that doesn't exist anymore.
Oh man, what a bummer.
I've heard it was in Dallas. That's one of the things I heard.
Yeah,
But maybe
Really?
you would know.
I
You would know.
It's not there.
Well, maybe it hasn't been there since. When did you first visit that location?
Well, there's an old Hard Rock that I mean, I'm talking. I remember going there when I was a kid. It's not there anymore. They changed locations. This new one is right by House of Blues in downtown, and it's like a fancy restaurant. Some memorabilia when you walk in the door, but it's a pretty nice, quiet place, and the bar is definitely not candy striped. If that was the case, I never got the chance to go to that one, and it's definitely not there anymore.
Huh.
I've heard different stories. I've heard stories. People tell me this stuff, and people have said. I think somebody said it's in Dallas. Maybe somebody said it was in Denver. Which is there a Hard Rock in Denver? I don't even know.
Probably, I have no
It's gotta
idea.
Isn't there a Hard Rock in every state?
I think so.
All of them?
Hard?
Everyone?
Yeah, this got to be one in Denver, though. You'd think there'd be one in Denver.
Is Rob's head cut off? Or is that just me?
No, I'm just showing my 918V.
And that's another guitar that you could show that guitar to, gosh, just about anybody, and they're not even going to know any of the history behind it. They're just
They're gonna think it's the 5150.
Is that the one that was in the Huff Teacher video, or is that the one that Eddie played on?
Same one in the live without a net.
Yeah, like 918V. What does that mean? You know, just stuff like
what
that.
does that mean, Dave? Dave told us one time what that means.
It's same like 5150, but violent, like me.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Dave, only when you do this. The Nesdal Creeper. Only when you do the Nesdal Creeper.
I got you, Creeper.
Cat Dumpling. There is a Hard Rock in Denver.
See, like they ought to make a movie like it with Dave, like like the clown and the storm drain. Like looking up should be Dave with a guitar.
No, it should be me like underwater, drowned with a guitar like that. A couple of bubbles of me like with drowned face.
Jared's face. That's funny. Yeah, that's good.
Look at these guys.
Couple of bubbles.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. That's funny. Did you say Tiny Bubbles, Johnny? Wasn't that a song by Don Ho?
Tiny Bubbles. Yeah. When I lived in Walnut Creek years and years and years ago, there was this place next door that used to have karaoke, and they would sing "Tiny Bubbles."
Bubbles.
I remember that.
Bubbles,
You can actually hear
Sharon.
it. It's actually here on this channel. Actually, you can hear it.
Tiny Bubbles.
Sharon. Oh, Sharon. No bubbles at my concert.
That's very funny. Oh my god, that's the best Ozzy I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, I'm the Prince of Darkness. You're not gonna have bubbles at my concert. I'm the Prince of Darkness.
You gotta talk about Sharon now. You go, Sharon.
Sharon.
Jared's doing an incredible Ozzy impersonation.
No, Ozzy, don't throw wood over the fence.
My goodness. Hey, Charlie S. David Ennis is here. Look at this. Hey, man.
Ah, there's Rob. Okay, nice.
I got
Right.
one.
Frank
Hold
Corcoran is here too.
Check out those tuners.
I got them on mine too.
Yeah.
Except I have the right black stripe patterns on the back of mine though.
I thought mine did. I fixed it.
Nope, you didn't.
Oh man.
What didn't I do? I thought I did it.
There's two of them missing.
Show me which ones. Get yours. Because I thought I did it. Oh, Dave, I thought I had it fixed.
Damn it, it's a piece of crap.
Throw it out. Johnny, I'm sending it to you. I don't want it.
I don't want this guitar anymore. And yeah, Dave's right.
Wait, hold on. Show me again.
Right there.
Oh. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Wait, where'd that other one go? Okay. Where'd that other one? I see that one from the top.
Goes around. Around and around and around and around.
You guys are nerds.
So where'd the one from the top come from?
What are you talking? What's up?
Turn it around again.
See?
No, like backwards though. Backwards. Oh, okay. That just goes. All right. Huh. How did you catch those picked? How did you catch those?
I watched the video again. It was still in tune.
Hey, can you send me a picture of that sometime when you get a second?
Oh, sure, for a fee.
I'll fix it. I can fix it. I just gotta it's not a big deal to add those. I just continue along. Oh, mine's out of tune.
This one's still in tune. This is my new
Good night,
neck.
Adam.
New neck.
Yeah, that's an awesome neck. That's an awesome neck. That's perfect.
Rob, how many of your guitars have bird's eye necks?
You know, I don't know. Mine or Ed's?
Oh, just your guitars.
Oh, mine? Let's see. My Kramer ad does.
Wait, I'm not what that is.
Yes.
My Hotford teacher does. My Frankenstrat does.
Correct.
Just,
This is
yeah, just those. Just those 3 Kramers. It's hard to tell which ones of Ed's were, hard rock maple or bird's eye. It's hard to tell. When I get my necks from Scott from Musicraft, I sometimes he'll send me one that's bird's eye. Sometimes he'll send me one that's not. It's just hard rock, maple. But the interesting thing is my Frankenstrat has bird's eye on it, and I love it because it's got so much bird's eye on it. The neck looks dirty.
Right. Dave's Frankie that he brought down here to Texas to play is just loaded with bird's eye, and that neck looks filthy, but it's not.
Yeah, mine's exactly the same way. This one's exactly the same. You can tell.
Oh yeah, that neck is beautiful.
Just loaded with bird's eye.
It's crazy, yeah.
It's just like Dave's that it's very. Dave's actually never seen my Frankie. I'd love for Dave to check out my Frankie because it's probably the better ones.
Is that what you're calling them these days?
What's that?
I thought I saw him
Come on,
already.
you guys. Who laughed?
Oh,
at
that Frank.
That's not funny.
Yeah. The best part was though when I brought my girlfriend down about a year ago and she hopped in Dave's bed. She thought she was going to sleep in his bed that night. I'm like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Going to sleep." I'm like, "That's Dave's bed."
She said, "I know. I'm waiting for him."
I know.
Bad joke.
That was actually a funny joke.
No, it really wasn't, because I'll hear about it.
Yeah.
Cricket.
That should be the after show.
Oh.
Yeah, the after show.
Join us for after shows where the S totally hits the.
The stuff.
Question for Rob. Hardwood Steaks has more questions.
Where did you get the Lake Placid Blue Mexican Strat? I actually had the same guitar with Stevie Ray Vaughan signature pickup. Worked very well for me. What about your pickups? Mine is I got mine off of a friend about a year ago. He bought it from a local guitar center. It's a Mexican Strat. Obviously, I love it. Mine's just stock though. Mine's, I strung it up with 10s. It's just got the regular pickups that were in it from the factory. So I just got mine off a friend. Just came from a local guitar center. I got a great deal on. Only paid him $350, and it's a Mexican Fender Stratocaster. So I got a pretty good deal on it. It's in beautiful condition. I love it.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, those are great. Those are great guitars.
Yeah. I'd still love to get a Telly. I'd love to get a Telly at some point. I'd like. I don't have a Telly. That's one guitar I don't have.
Mm-hmm. That's what I have. The like I was telling you earlier about the one that Andy Summers signed for me.
Oh yeah.
That's a Mexico Fender Telly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they're great.
How long you had that one?
I got that in 2000.
Huh?
Wait, let's listen in. Let's listen in here real quick.
What are you two talking about? No.
Oops.
Uh-oh. I got that Telly. Well, I got it signed in 2006.
Cool.
Roughly. So I got it in 2005, 2006.
Yep.
No, it would have been 2005 I got it because I played it live in 2006.
Yep.
That was my main guitar for quite a while. And then once Andy signed it, it's been put away pretty much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
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 Cool.
So what, are you guys...
Yep.
You guys
Yeah,
ready to go?
it's been 2 hours. I think we're good.
10 o'clock. What else we got?
Wow. We've been having fun.
Hey, boy, you got a pretty mouth.
What you talking about? What you talking about? Me got a purty mouth. You got a purty mouth, boy.
I tell you what.
Pretty mouth.
All right.
I'll tell you what.
All right. Save that for once we're off air. Hang on.
You guys and your broke back.
Oh, come on.
Ew.
Don't ruin it. I still haven't seen that yet.
Ew. No.
Hey,
All right.
listen here, J-Rod. I love my guitar.
Your git fiddle? Can you play that git fiddle?
I can play that little fiddle right here, my
You can
man.
play that git fiddle?
I can show you how I play that fiddle.
You show me how you play that git fiddle.
You guys.
Oh, this is getting deleted.
Man. Well, hey, you know, it's Wednesday.
Yeah,
You guys are good?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
good.
You guys are
We're
just
good.
getting started? You guys are just getting started, I think. All right, we're out of here.
Hey, isn't it trash night?
It is, but I already took the cans down, so.
You took it in a.
What?
Never mind.
All three of you guys, man. Can I put you? All right. Yeah, Jay. Try not to laugh. All right, Jared. Great to see you, man. Somebody was saying you should jump in more often.
I should. I'm always here. I don't,
That's right. You are.
I am.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
I will have one.
Yes. Yeah, and we'll have to schedule
Yeah,
something.
Jared, you got to jump in more often.
Oh, as long as you jump in there with me, boy.
Johnny, I think Hardwood is looking for that Tascam. I think he still wants to buy that from you.
Oh, hey, man. Okay. All right. Sorry. Yeah, I've just been. It's been crazy. Crazy. Brian Davies. That is correct. I do. All right. Dubin Desiree. Well, Desiree's in here. Everybody.
She's right here.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thank you for the thumbs ups. Got 35 thumbs ups. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Had a great time tonight, guys and girls. Had a really good time tonight.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good to see you back, Dave. For sure.
Yeah.
Walk over. Go ahead. What was that?
No, I was just saying it's good to see you back.
We were saying.
Thank you. It's just a lot going on over here.
Way of the Dave tour is over. So
I'm still waiting. Waiting.
All right. Yes. All right.
Well,
Don't hang up. Don't hang up.
Nope, not hanging up.
We'll continue this. And everybody, thanks for jumping in, or thanks for watching, all that stuff. Join us Friday. Be another great time. And yes. All right. Ron. Is it Ron? Rob. Come on.
see
Jared.
you guys later.
Dave. Great to see you guys.
Johnny.
See you guys later.
Johnny.
All right. JohnnyBeane.tv. See ya.
Later, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Look at that. My hand is like.
Did you just do one of these?